Okay, so these are about the Manchukuo stamps. Most likely, most of you already are familiar somehow about Manchukuo because of that movie, The Last Emperor. So, so you know something, or maybe you know a lot about this. So I saw the movie recently. I never, I know has been around for many years, but I just saw it recently. And so I got interested. So I put together all the stamps that I have for Manchukuo. So I initially just going to give you some facts. So Manchukuo was located in that northeastern of China and Japan. Now, this map, actually, I apologize, is in Spanish, but you can actually tell the names, they are very similar to English. And Japan invaded this area, and then they created an independent state, and they call it Manchukuo. So that was in 1932, and they put as a chief executive of this state, they put a Puyi. Puyi, actually, if you guys saw the movie is The Last Emperor, is mainly about Puyi. He actually was the last emperor of China. And there is a lot of things about that. He abdicated being an emperor, but that's a different story. So I'm not going to go into those details. In 1934, Japan made him an emperor. So this area even was meant to be an independent state, was really controlled or manipulated by Japan the whole time. Eventually, it went back to China in 1945, when Japan lost that in World War II, and they returned Manchukuo to China. Now, I printed a few things in here. I printed the flag of Manchukuo because it is in the stamps, but you cannot really tell the colors, okay? Because the stamps are not like a multicolor, so you cannot really tell what colors they are. So they have this motto in there. They said 5 races under 1 union, right? So the 5 races, actually, if you look at the map, you can tell, right? So Manchukuo is the yellow, the red is Japan, the blue is China, the white is Mongolia, and the black is Korea. And now you are going to see on the stamps, besides the flag, you're going to see something related to the 5 races. So that's the reason I'm mentioning that in here. Okay, then going to the stamps. So the first stamp was printed, issue in 1932, right? So there were 2 pictures in the first set of stamps. So what this tower, they call it the pagoda, I think is the name. That is a structure with different levels. I think most of the times they are like a Buddhist temples, but could be something else too, right? And that picture of a Puyi. Now, so these 2 pictures are in the first set of stamps. But however, these 2 stamps are from different years. Actually, the pictures are from 1932, but the first stamp has on top 5 characters, and the second one has 6 characters, right? So, because the first set is when Manchukuo was just an independent state, and the second one is from 1934, when Manchukuo was had an emperor, right? Was an empire. So the first set of characters says Manchu State Postal Administration, and the 6 characters means Manchu Empire Postal Administration. So that's the way you can tell. Now you are going to see these 2 pictures more than once, and so if you're just collecting and which one is first, that's one way to tell. And there are other things I'm going to show you later to be able to tell when they belong to what time period. The first set of stamps are the first 2 rows up to these 2 stamps on the left. right? So this is the pagoda and Puyi in here. So this is 1932. Now, this stamping here is interesting, the 15 Feng, right? And I'm going to tell you in a second why it's interesting. Now, after that, the next stamp here, there is a flag of Manchukuo, but you cannot really tell the colors. That's the reason I was explaining the colors. They don't come in the stamp really, the colors, you cannot tell. And this is just showing some government place, and then the same stamps in here. Now, in here, you still see the 5 characters, right? So still these stamps are printed during the independent state. So these stamps, they are very similar. Here, I guess one looks a little brighter than the other one, but in general, supposed to be very similar, right? So then the point was how to distinguish the stamps. So one stamp is listed, I think, like $20 in Scat, and the other one about $900. For me, how do I distinguish? Because they were the same, right? And so, but I look further in Scat, and one says no watermark and watermark, the first one. And this one is watermark, I think watermark 39 or something like that. So I was able to see the watermark. So that then I knew, okay, so this is this one. Because besides that, all the pictures, everything is the same, right? The color sometimes may be fading, so you cannot tell 100% sure. But actually, in both cases mention the same color.
Sam, are they both printed by the same method? Are they like both?
Actually, yeah. So they printed this group of stamps. I think it was like a year after they print the initial stamps. Okay, so starting here after this yuan, right? So this belongs to the previous set of stamps. Okay, so so now it's going to, they start showing that the Emperor Palace in here now. So I guess these were printed in 1934. This is a phoenix, and this is against the same palace and the same phoenix, different colors. These are overprinted, but still from here they use the old stamps, this overprinted. But now, probably it's hard for you guys to read, but actually now there appear 6 characters on top instead of 5. Okay, so that indicates that they belong to this empire, Manchukuo Empire, right? So there are now here appears the same guy, the same Puyi in here. So, but this is easy for me to tell because now it's 6 characters, so I know it's not the first or the second. So this is easy to, I can skip anything else. Just looking at the characters, I'm able to tell. So this just very similar stamps as before, but with the 6 characters now. And here again, some overprinting. Okay. Now this is from 1932 to 1945. So you're not, I think I have all the stamps, but it's not that many because it's only 12 to 13 years the most. So now appears this royal crest, So starting from here, you're going to see all the stamps. They are going to have this symbol. Most of them in different places. So you're going to be able to identify when you see it, what the stamps are from Manchukuo.
It's an orchid. Yeah,
an orchid, you're right. Yes. Yeah, here, of course, this is Mount Fuji. We saw it in the Japanese stamps, and again, Mount Fuji. This may be another bird. Not exactly sure what it is, but there's a bird in there. And now I think this I read this was a wild goose flying over Japan, and that same stamp repeated in here. and then some more structures of the houses or the palaces. But now you keep seeing this orchid, right? So that's that way to identify the Manchukuo stamps. And then some are overprinted. I guess this is a rising sun stamps. And yes, now you see the flag again of Manchuria, but it's hard to tell the colors, but you already saw it. Okay, and this is the last page because it's not that many stamps, as I said, right? This is the map of Manchukuo. It's a little bit covered by another stamp. This was some type of, I think, New Year greetings. So if something missing here, maybe Happy New Year or something. I'm not exactly sure. And this might be Red Cross. I guess that's the symbol of the Red Cross. Not 100% sure. And this, okay, some trains. Okay, now a soldier. Let me see. Oh, okay. This is a dragon here. Now, before I mentioned about that 5 ethnic races, right? So it's in here. So these are 5 dancing women, and they are supposed to belong to different countries, from Mongolia, China, Korea, Manchuria, So that's what it is. They call it 5 dancing women. There is a map in here. There is another map of Manchuria here. Now, these ones are propaganda stamps. They are in Chinese and in Japanese, right? Just different values. What did I wrote in here? Oh, they actually are supposed to say this: Japan progress is Manchukuo progress. So if Japan is doing good, Manchukuo is going to do good, I guess. So and still you see the identifying symbol of Manchukuo here. Okay, so similar stamps. Now this one, you see all the way to the right, is the last stamp of Manchukuo. It's 1 heart, 1 soul. I guess that's what it says in here in the characters, right? So that's the last stamp. Now these 4 stamps, they are air postal stamps, right? And different values. This one, I guess this is some type of bridge in here. Yeah. And now these stamps in here, this last one, remember 1945, that was it. That was the end of the Manchukuo state, or it went back to China, right? But so these stamps were printed after. So what happened in localities, for a while they kept using the stamps they had, and they just put overprinted those. So for a while they overprinted those, but they are at that time. That was, so I guess this overprinting is definitely something. I'm not exactly sure what it says, but
well, the one on the upper right, the character on the upper right is the character for China.
You're right. Yeah. So most likely something in reference to China. Yes. Yeah. So that's it. That's it. Because as I said, not too many stamps.